What's going on, boys, and welcome back to the channel. I hope you guys are doing well. It's been a minute since we've been here. I've just had a lot of stuff in life go on. You know, we just had to take a few weekends off. I got a minor little surgery, got stitches on my back. Everything is good though, don't worry. But today, we're not actually focusing on the Civic at all. We're gonna switch up gears a little bit, and I know that you guys have seen in the background, we have a little toy right here, and I haven't spoke too much about it. I've said a couple things here and there, so if you're a longtime subscriber, you would know the deal with that, and obviously the deal with this, the main car. But today we are switching gears and we're going to be unearthing this side-by-side. As you can see, it's basically turned into a storage locker. There's heaps of stuff on it, but I somehow inherited this side-by-side and it is blown up. I mean, blown up. Does it knock? Does it have low compression? Does it start? Does it not start? What's the deal with it? Is there even oil or gas in it? I don't know. We literally brought it to the shop, left it here, and haven't thought twice about it until now. Right now, there's not much to do on the Civic, so we're gonna switch gears for content purposes and figure out what's wrong with this side-by-side. And I want you guys to let me know in the comments below after you're done watching this video. Are you enjoying the side-by-side content, or how are we feeling about it? Because I'm excited to use this toy if we can get it rebuilt and do our first little engine build on the channel. Even though it's a small engine, it should be easier, and I think it'd be really cool. But today, I want to put some gas and a battery in this and see what happens when we start it. Are we going to hear crazy rod knock? Is it not going to start? Is it going to blow up in our face? We don't know, and that's the exciting thing. So let's figure out why this side-by-side that I somehow came across and inherited is quote-unquote blown up. So first things first, I'm going to set you guys up on the tripod and we are going to try and unearth this thing the best that we can to gain access to do simple things like check gas, check oil, put a battery in it, crank it up, and we'll go from there. But first thing, we have to get this thing manageable because like I said, we have quite literally used it as a storage locker. Not a good look. Game time. Alright boys, now that it actually looks like a side-by-side, not a storage locker, I need Mr. YouTube to help me out here. Figure out how to get this seat out. I see that there's a bar holding it in and it kind of just looks like a push button on the back, but I don't want to break anything trying to rip it out. It's already like loose, but we're gonna figure that out. I found obviously where the battery goes and there's a bunch of leads. I don't know how we're gonna make that work. They're all very tiny and all I have is a big old boat battery, but that looks like it might just be the one. The leads are fairly small, so we'll see if we can make that work. Have confirmed it does have fuel in it, but I'm pretty sure to check the oil, it's behind this seat. I don't really know. This rear tray is about ready to come out too. It's just held on by a couple bolts back there. So I'm gonna take to YouTube to see how to get this seat out without breaking stuff, and we're gonna start maybe pulling some more plastics off and see what happens. I also noticed ECU back there and it looks like a plug has come out of it, unless it's a blank plug, which I don't think is the case. I don't really freaking know, but like I said, we got to get this seat out and I don't feel like breaking nothing, so we'll be right back. All right, well, while I was about to go do a little bit of research, she decided to yank on something and figured it out. So big dubs to the woman's. Look at that. I mean, these seats weigh a total of 10 pounds. That is a handle back there. Hey,
totally. Perfect. I was just like wink wink.
I've only ever worked on dirt bikes and cars. This is all new to me. I seen that on the other side and I figured it's just got to be something simple, but like I said, I didn't want to break nothing. This is new to me, even though it's old as hell and doesn't run. I just don't want to be breaking shit. Anyways, looks like, okay, so that looks like the air box or something. I think there's a dipstick there. I see a couple breathers, a lot of vacuum lines. Yeah, now that the seat's out, it's time to formulate a real game plan of how, if even at all possible, that we're gonna start this today. Boys, for the first time in years, I've had to ditch the toolbox and move to my #1 OG tool set that I ever got. because it's the only thing that has torque bits. And of course, this American or whatever made machine has Torx all over it, like it's a goddamn Volkswagen. So let's hope I have the right T-bits, and I'm gonna get to taking off the rear plastic so we can get a better look at the engine, as I found that the spark plugs are not installed. Well, the spark plugs are installed, spark plug wires are not installed, and it's absolutely vile in here. So she wants to start vacuuming as I pull off this rear tray, and fingers crossed I have the right torque bits. I think it might be a T30 or 40. So let's try the 30 first. Oh, it's smaller. Wrong on both. That's okay though. Chuck those there. T25 perhaps? Is this the money? That seems to be the money. T25 it is. Let's get pulling stuff off. Rear tray should come off, just like that. Now that it's disassembled, we gain access to the engine. One spark plug, or no, neither of the spark plugs are plugged in. We're gonna need the vacuum because there's been a lot of shit back here. But we can plug in the spark plugs. The ECU clip looks like a blank plug, so I don't think we'll need that. And from what I can see, I don't see any holes or anything in the case, so I'm wondering if it's just low compression or knocking, but it's looking good so far. Once we get these spark tube seals vacuumed out, I can connect the spark plugs, quickly check over everything else. It's a really small engine, like literally this is the motor, like it's just tiny. So I'll check out the air box, I'll make sure there's fuel in it, we'll connect the spark plugs, and we should be met. All right, now that the majority of it is all vacuumed out, we can go ahead and reconnect the spark plug wires. So this one is gonna go right onto that spark plug. Perfect. And this one is gonna go onto that spark plug right there, if you guys can see it kind of. Spark plug wires installed. Hopefully they make a good connection. I don't see why not. They all seated in, they all clipped in. Now it's time to check the oil and figure out what battery is gonna go in there. All right, the dipstick is fairly self-explanatory. It just flips up and then you can pull it out. Let's take a look at this oil. It looks absolutely filthy. I don't see much metal shavings. Can try to hold a magnet onto it and just see if anything comes out. But to me, it just looks dirty. Although there is oil on the stick, we should be good to at least start it up, considering this thing is quote unquote blown up anyways. All right, boys, so we've got everything vacuumed out. We've got the whole thing torn down. Spark plug wires are now connected to the spark plugs. I confirm the throttle cable works, the brake works, the shifter works. Everything seems to be good. The airbox seems clean. It has oil in it, although the oil is ancient and needs to be changed right away. If it turns out this thing isn't blown up, we're gonna do an oil change right away. But the main thing being right now, the main predicament that we're facing is the battery. So let's take a look here. You got 4 leads. Both of them are really small. They're like 10 or 12 mil bolts that would go through them. They're very, very small leads, but you got 2 power and 2 ground. You got 1 main battery and kind of an accessory battery for any lights, winches, things like that. You can connect them all together, 2 grounds to 1 post, 2 positive to 1 post, just to fire it up and see if it'll even start. But the problem is that these connections are so small, and although I could somewhat jerry rig it to the boat battery is so big, like the actual size of the battery is so big that it doesn't fit in these little battery cubbies. Therefore, these leads can't reach to the battery. And I don't really want to I don't feel like cutting up and extending wires just to get it to reach to a boat battery. And I don't even know if that battery's charged. We could do all that work and it might crank once or twice to just die out. So I don't feel like cutting those up and extending them just to see if they'll work on a battery that's been sitting on concrete that is probably drained. So I don't really know what to do about that. A little bit of good news, my buddy is gonna bring us a battery for this bad unit tomorrow. So we're gonna pause the video here today, pick it back up tomorrow. It's not very often your boy does a 2-day video, but we got plenty of time on our hands now. Our world's just opened up a ton. So be ready for a lot more content on this channel, potentially with different cars. Tomorrow, hopefully we'll get a battery, try and fire this thing up, and we'll see what happens then. Till tomorrow, I'll see you guys then. All right, boys, so we're back at the shop, day 2 on the side-by-side. My buddy brought us over a battery, so we're gonna try that, but right now, he actually works on these quite a bit, and he wants to take this cover off just to get a closer look at the clutch, right? Yeah. Clutch behind here? Yeah, so we're gonna pop that off, take a look at the clutch, see if the belt slipped off and whatnot. Apparently it's a pretty common issue. We've taken the seatbelt bar off so we can get access to the lower bolts on this cover. Rip that off, inspect it real quick, and then I think we'll just move on to the battery if that checks out, and see if it fires up. Okay, boys, we got the cover off. Give me the bad news, Colby. What's the bad news?
She's locked up.
Fuck. So this is supposed to spin and it's just seized solid?
Yeah. She's seized right on there.
No way. So what does this entail? Like a full-blown rebuild or a whole new engine, or like what would be the play?
We definitely got to tear it down.
Yeah.
See what we're looking at.
Yeah.
But hopefully it's just a failure in the top end. And we can save the bottom end, but...
Yeah. Damn. So she sees solid. That sucks, boys. We thought we were just missing a battery and we could at least see something, but this thing's seized up. So even no matter how many batteries you put on this thing, it ain't firing up. Seized solid. So that is the fate of the side-by-side right now. Now we got to do a little chatting and see what the game plan is. Is it hard to remove the engine out of these things?
Not too bad.
Not terrible? Do you have to take all this bracing and everything off up here? Do they come out the back, or?
On this one here, this one, I think we're gonna pull it out through the center here.
Over here?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, boys. Well, we got to go chat and figure out a game plan for this because, yeah, she seized. Pry bar on it and still nothing.
Let's pull the starter off.
Yeah?
And just see if she's stuck.
Let's do it. Okay, boys, we're gonna rip this starter off and see if that clears anything up here. All right, guys, so that's my boy Colby. He works on these things a lot. That's what he does. So we're gonna pull the starter off, but first we're gonna put a battery on it and see if the starter even clicks or does anything. Apparently we gotta pull the clutches apart to get the starter off, so it's turning into a bit of a project, but it should be fun either way. I hope you guys are enjoying. All right, boys, we're just gonna chuck a battery in, see if the starter does anything. Fingers crossed, but you never know. Seems pretty locked up. Okay, Giver, we got the battery in. Lights on. Fuel pump works.
10,000 kilometers.
Is that high for one of these?
Decent 9,000 hours.
Holy fuck, that's a lot. Is it in park? I hope so.
It says it's in reverse.
What? Or that doesn't work either, I guess.
It could be.
Just bump it. Locked.
Yeah, but there's still no, like there's no starter noise or anything.
Nothing.
So now let's maybe check power to the starter.
Yeah.
Make sure we are getting power.
Yeah.
Sorry, I guess if it's...
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, let's dig into it some more.
Moving on, boys. Time to rip more apart.
9,000 hours.
That's a ton, eh?
Oh yeah, dude. I think mine had like 280.
280?
Yeah.
Holy.
Like, dude, this thing's like, that's a lot of hours.
This thing's been used and
Like
abused.
10,000 K, that's not
That makes
too
sense
bad.
though.
Now we got some access to the starter. Oh yeah, perfect. Okay, so we'll rip that out and see what happens. Like pull that out and it might spin freely after that, or
Starter just might be
seized up.
yeah, Bend-X on the starter might be stuck or.
Gotcha. Here's to hoping. Fingers crossed. Starter's a little seized in there, but he's fighting that.
He's fine.
For real, going to war with it.
Oh, it's this one over there. There we go. She's coming a bit.
Coming off. We'll be right back. All right, boys, after a good 15 minutes of bashing, it seems like it's loosened up a little. Don't say anything too soon. Oh, yes. Watch here.
Pull that sucker.
Oh, that's connected. That just popped
See
off.
if that spins then.
Yep.
Okay, so now try and turn it over. She's locked up.
Oh, oh, it moves. Not very freely. That was decent. Yo! Yo!
Try and move it by. Oh yeah, so now it gets hard now.
Is it on the compression stroke or is it just fucked?
No, it wouldn't be that hard. You can typically turn them down. Yeah, it sounds like something on the top ends, like the piston's fucked or something.
Well, shit, boys. It started to spin, but then it gets tight again once the starter's off. Colby's thinking something in the top end, probably. All right, guys, so starter came off. This can move semi-freely, like that and backwards, but then it gets tight again. So something's seized. We're gonna take these rear fairings off, and then we're gonna start taking the exhaust manifold off, and hopefully we can dive into the top end and see if there's anything going on there. But before we get too much further, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap up this video, leave you guys with a little bit of a cliffhanger, come back and watch part 2 of tearing down the side-by-side when we actually get into the engine. And until then, I hope you guys are enjoying the side-by-side content, switching it up from the Civic for now. And if you do, put it in the comments below. Anyways, comment, like, subscribe. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.